He has a bunch of selfies that he just shows everybody, doesn't he?
Hey, what's up my peoples? EmGo here, the freaking geek himself, and today we will be reviewing the Star Toys Tracker. So here we are, and there he is, and first and foremost, as always, we'll take a quick look at the packaging. Right up front here, we have some lovely artwork of Tracker. His name is Tracker. On this side we have Tracker. On this side we have more of Tracker. On top, Star Toys. On the bottom, words, things, stuff. Caution! Don't eat anything in this box. It's going to be very bad for you. Still counts as warning. On the back of the box, we just have some obligatory product shots there of all of his modes. We have some QR codes to online instructions, which is a thing now. Not a fan of, but whatever. It is what it is. And that's basically it for the packaging. And moving right along, here we have Tracker, and this is Star Toys' take on a Masterpiece scaled Trax. And here he is in his robot mode. He is packed in his robot mode. And he looks pretty good, nice and cartoony, but let's get in close so we can take a look at the details. And we'll take a look at that noggin, and yeah, a nice head sculpt there. Got that nice red for the face, nice gloss red for the face. Eyes done in blue. Got that white helmet going on there. Makes for a nice contrast also. I dig that. And his body is done in a real nice metallic blue. Got some silver there on the shoulders. Got the yellow and red there on the forearms. Got a bit of paintwork there on the crotchio region. There's little bits of detailing there picked out in paints on the legs, on the toesies as well. Again, some more of that nice metallic blue, silver rims there on the wheels. Got kind of some high heels going on there. But moving up the back, overall, it's a pretty clean transformation. I mean, he kind of has the backpack that Trax is supposed to have. And you got the wings there with the red and yellow detailings there. One thing I don't like is this section here because, you know, they did go with the yellow, just these spots right here, these two sections of it, gotta use a second coat. I really could have used a second coat, but it is what it is. But all in all, though, a pretty nice looking Trax. Now, articulation-wise, what have we got? I'm going to tell you, so the head is on a ball joint. You get some wiggly-waggly. He does have a nice neck joint here, allows him to look all the way up and do total squirrel. He can look down a good bit. Head can do a full 360. Arms can do a full 360. Just be mindful of the wings. You have 2 points of outward movement for the arms. You have this hinge right here, and then the whole shoulder can rotate up as well. So you have a nice range of movement going on there. You have bicep rotation. You have 90 degrees of bend at the elbow. You have wrist rotation. You do have posable hands. Now the thumb is on a hinge that just allows it to rotate up and down. Not a big fan of the way that thumb works, but it is what it is. The index finger is separate and is just on a hinge at the base, and the other 3 fingers are just on a hinge at the base there. You do have waist rotation. You do also get an ab crunch in there. As far as the legs, they can move forward that far, can move back that far. You can see how the skirts, can kind of stay stuck there. You don't want that to happen. That's a little bit annoying, but there we go. Outward, you can do the full splits. You have thigh rotation. You have a little bit over 90 degrees of a bend at the knee. As far as the feet, they can move up, they can move down. There's no rotation, but you do have your ankle tiltage. Now, as far as accessories go, we get his little blaster here, just done in gray. We get this little barrel as well. That's for the flying car mode. We get this stand adapter, which I have things to say about this, or more so the connection point for it, but we'll talk about that in a little bit. We do also get optional faces for him, 2 in total, as well as the alien mask, because you gotta do that one thing from that one scene in the cartoon. You know how it works. But that is all you get with Tracker. Now, as far as weapon holding, it's just a simple tab in the slot of the palm method of weapon holding. Just make sure you get that thumb out of the way there. And you got that going on. And he can pew pew and bang bang with the best of them and look dang good doing it. And of course we have the optional faces, and you can see their little notches here on either side of his head crest, and that'll help you pry his face off. Pry it. Ah, there we go. Sorry. I'm so sorry. But you can just pop the new face on, and now we can have happy tracks. Or we can have, it doesn't look like angry tracks, it more looks like, you know, like he's in the middle of talking, like mid-sentence tracks. And of course we can do the one thing from that one episode with the alien mask. Booga booga. Booga booga. So one thing to note about this stand adapter, and this is just made to fit your MP stands. And so this works by just tabbing in between his legs. But problem is, it does not fit. It does not work. It will not, it just won't go. Now, I've seen people review early samples of this figure, and we're spending way too much time talking about this area, and I should move my finger away from this area. So, I've seen early samples of this figure, and this part was plastic, and then for some reason, they changed it to metal, and yeah, now this piece doesn't fit. I don't think they accounted for that, and now this doesn't fit. Granted, you could always just shave these tabs down and make it fit, but as is, doesn't really work, but yeah. Just something to note. Yeah. So there you have that, and now for comparison. Here he is with MP44, and here he is with G1 tracks because he doesn't like to stand anymore. His legs don't work. Here he is with G1 tracks because he's precious. Oh, so precious. Oh, God. And here he is with the official Masterpiece tracks. So you can see how that works out. And me, personally, I think the Star Toys version looks way better, in my opinion anyway. I was never a fan of the official MP tracks, so this one I definitely feel like is an improvement. But which one do you think wins in robot mode? And if you'd like a measurement to the top of his head, Tracker comes in at 6 3/4 inches tall. So that is basically it for the robot mode, so let's get down to transformation, shall we? Let's! So first thing we're going to do is we're going to take the hand and we're going to rotate it so the palm is facing down. You do want to make sure the thumb is sitting like that. You're going to open up this panel here, so you can then open this up, and then you're just going to rotate the hand in, and close that back up, and close that back up, and do the same thing on the other side. So now we're going to move on to the backpack where all the fiddly stuff is. So you want to take these wing sections here, just untab them, and just drop these down. Now you want to take these side sections here and just open them up. Open that up, and that will allow you to untab this hood section from the inside of that rear bumper. And you can just take this and bring that down, get that out of your way. You then want to take these side sections here, and you basically just kind of grabbing this door here, and all this will pull out. It tabs in right here on the side. And again here, kind of get pulled out, so you can just rotate all that out. So again, just kind of get that door up, and then just kind of give it a little wiggle, just so you can kind of get a nail in there. And you can kind of open this up and get this pulled out as best you can, and get this rotated out. There we go, like that. Then you just want to untab these little metal hook sections here. Mine just super loose, they just kind of flop around, but just bring those down like that. So now you want to come here to the missiles, and you just want to open this up and then flip the tip in, Let's open that up and flip the tip in. This one's super loose on my copy, so this one likes to flop around, but just get that open like that. You want to take the central portion and just rotate that back. So now these missile sections are on this outer panel, which is on a hinge. I can rotate forward. So rotate that forward, and now you want to take this whole central section here and start rotating that. And you basically just want to kind of get it to the halfway point where it's sitting like that, and then you can take these missiles and rotate them around. There's barely enough clearance to get those turned around. It's still kind of hitting stuff, but you know. Get that situated, and then you can finish rotating this around and get that windshield sitting flush. You can take this whole assembly here and just unclip it and just bring that back. Kind of bring these little window bits out just to kind of get them out of the way. You now want to take this whole section here and rotate that 180. And now you want to take this little panel here, just flip that in, and then rotate this in. Flip that in and rotate that in. And you have all that compacted up like that. Now for the head, you just kind of want to pull it back a little bit, and that will undo this little panel here. And what we can do now is we want to take the head and use this hinge here at the base, and we're going to bring his head all the way around to the other side of that panel. And you just kind of want to angle his head back, and his head will just sit in this little opening for it, and you just kind of push it in and get it sitting in there like that. At this point now, you can close up these side sections of the rear here. Just get that all squeezed together. So now you want to take these door sections here. You basically want to straighten this hinge out. And you can see here, there's a little tab here, right there. If you're having trouble getting this to where it needs to be in robot mode, you can always just shave that tab down a little bit. I did it on my copy because it was super tight, because you need to be able to just kind of like pop this forward. And you can see it's still plenty tight on mine. But it needs to pop forward so it can sit in this little recess right here. So if that's giving you a lot of trouble, just shave that tab down. I probably still need to shave it down a little bit more. But anyway, once you get that hinge straightened out, just take this and just slide that down. Make sure you flip out that side view mirror, because this can be a little pain in the butt if you don't slide that out. So what you're going to do here is this section right here is on a slider. You just want to push it up. And this bit can be a little tricky. There we go. And you can see how that pops up. It is now sitting flush with everything else. So once you've done that, you can now rotate this out and then rotate this section up to finish up that wheel well. And then you can just rotate the arm in like that. And then you can take this door, bring that up, and that will just sit right there and finish that section up. And second verse is just like the first. And now the second verse has been firsted, so now we can take the chest section here. We can just pop this up. Actually, before we do that, we need to take the yellow section here and flip this around to expose these two tabs here. And now we can take this and just bring that up so it's sitting like that. So now we can get the arms in place. So you just want to rotate the arm into this hinge right here. And that will allow you to take this little panel here and bring that out. Like that. Make sure you bring it back as far as it'll go. And then you just rotate the arm at the bicep, 180. You're going to bring the arm in, bend the elbow, and there's a tab that'll go into this slot right here. So you just line that up, tab that in, just straighten everything out. And you got it looking like that. Same thing on the other side. And once you have both sides done, these sides are on sliders here. So you just take them, just slide them in. You just go in a little bit. Just make sure you have that slid in. And make sure these side view mirrors stay out, because those can be a pain in the butt if they get in the way. So anyway, now you want to take the whole lower body and you want to bring that down. And then you want to bring the legs back up. And now we can start working on the legs. So what you're going to do here is first you're going to take this this toe panel here, the top toe panel, and you're going to open this up. It's going to engage the ankle joints. You can then take this bit here and just slip that down into the foot, and then you can close that back up. Once that's done, we can open up this front panel of the leg with a little pull, open that up. It's on a slider as well, so you can pull that out. And now you want to open up this panel, bring that down. You have this bit here that you want to swing out to the side and then bring it back. And then you're going to take this gray section here and just rotate it all the way in so it's sitting like that. So once that is done, you want to just take all this and start bringing it in. This section you want to bring back just to get it out of your way. And you want to take the front of the thigh, open it up, swing this out to the side, and then just bring it down. So now you can take the foot and just bring it up. You can start collapsing all this up. You want to bring this back to its original position. And you also want to make sure this little blue panel here is unthooped, because this blue panel has to end up underneath the foot. So get all this situated, collapse all this down. And again, this transformation has some fiddly bits, but you can do it. I believe in you. There we go. Make sure everything is just sitting the way it needs to be sitting. This little blue panel needs to be sitting underneath the foot, like that. You don't want to collapse this up just yet. You want to leave that as is. You can also take this front grill section here, and you can just rotate that like so. And that side's done, and second verse just like the first. And once both sides are done, now we can secure this up. So we have tab slot connection that's going to happen here on the sides. Let's get this lined up and get that popped in. Once you have that popped in, now you can bring this up, because this is a locking point now. So now that is locked in place. So now you can collapse all this up nice and tight like. So do the same thing on the other side and get everything locked up. This part could be a little tricky. There we go. Just get that in place and then just bring that up, and that now locks that in place. And you can close all that up like that, and now you can take the two halves and snap them together. All nice and neat like. So now we can start situating this stuff here. So now you want to bring all this back, and it'll just clip in right here. Just push it down, and that'll just clip in right there like so. And you want to take these side sections here. Again, make sure that these side view mirrors are out of the way. You just want to bring these out and down, and they'll just kind of snap in. There's a little tab that goes into a notch there in the side as well, so make sure that lines up and just bring that in. Get that snapped into place, and you got it looking like that. At this point, you can take the front windshield here and just bring that back and just get that into its home. There we go. Let's get that snapped in, and then the hood will just tab into 3 points right here. Line that up and tab that in. So now we can bring the back down. Now what's supposed to happen in theory is these two tabs are supposed to go into notches here on the sides. Again, that's in theory. That doesn't really work all that well. So really you're relying more so on these tab slot connections here on the sides. So get that lined up and drop that in. Get that lined up and drop that into its home. If you could find its home. Where's its home? There's its home. There you go. Get that sitting in there like that. So now for the wings, just going to bring these in. I'm going to rotate this around, and there is a tab slot connection that happens right there. So let's bring that down and tab that in. Make sure that goes into its slots. There we go. Tab that in like that. Same thing here. Just kind of get that rotated around. And again, just tab that into the slot right there. Get that tabbed in. I'm supporting this piece right here with my thumb so it doesn't move around on me. You can just bring that down like so. And there you have Tracker in his alt mode. You get a good spin out of him too. Now the transformation is a bit fiddly, but it does come together in a nice, sleek, sexy car mode. So we'll take a look at the details here. We got that front grille done in black. Got the little flame tempo there on the hood. That looks really good. Needs an Autobot symbol sticker right there, which I will put on it. You can see the windshields and windows done in a tinted, transparent plastic. Rims done in silver. Now, one issue I have with my copy, unless I'm just doing something wrong, like this back windshield, you can kind of see, it's always kind of popped up a little bit. I don't know if I'm just doing something wrong, but I can never get that to sit flush with the roof. Again, could be doing something wrong. I'm not entirely sure, but you can see how that looks. Taillights picked out in red. And there is the top, there is the bottom. See, everything's pretty well hidden, except for the wings, but everything is pretty well hidden. It does roll, as rolling things should. Hooray for rolling. And for comparison, here he is with G1 tracks because he's precious. Oh, so precious. Aww. Here he is with MP44. And here he is with the official Masterpiece tracks. So you can see how they fare against one another. I think they both look good in their alt modes, honestly. But you tell me, does one edge out the other? I don't know. What do you think? And if you'd like a measurement from end to end, we are looking at 6 inches long. Now, as far as his weapon, does it store in the car mode? No! Doesn't store anywhere, unfortunately. Now, this little blaster here, this little barrel, does plug in up front, but again, that is for the flying car mode, but hey, it gives him a weapon in alt mode if you want. Things you can do if you want to do it. So that is it for the regular car mode, but now let's make this thing fly, so let's get down to transformation again, shall we? Let's! So for flying car mode, we're going to just get these wing sections untabbed, get them up and out. We're going to undo all this and just bring this up, get this out of the way. So now what we need to do is we need to unlock these sections here. So just get in here and kind of pull these down. You can use a tool if you want. Another way to do this also is you can actually just kind of get the arms, get in here and just kind of get the arms out of the way because you have to anyway. You raise those up and that'll help you kind of get in here and pull these sections down. You basically just need to get all this up. So you might still need the tool because everything does kind of tab in and lock in here. So just be careful. Just get that down. And you can also give this a little wiggle so you can pop that hood up because you kind of need to get this out of the way also. And just kind of get this windshield up. I'll just kind of help you further just get everything loosened up so you can now undo these sections here. There we go. So once you've done that, we just need to bring these doors down. So you just kind of want to pull back on this rear fender here. And that'll help you just kind of pop these doors down. And you want to bring this little panel down. You want to take the side view mirror and flip that up. So now you want to take the arms and just swing them out. Get the arms up and out because you want these doors to end up on the inside like this. So what's going to happen here is you want to take this panel, you want to bring it around and tab it in right there, and then you're just going to rotate the arm in. You want to take this wheel here and it will split at this point here. Just open that up like that and just bend it up. We're going to leave that hanging out like that for now because we still need to get things, other things secured here. So we're going to do the same thing on the other side. So you got both sides done. That's looking beautiful. So now we need to just get all this secured back up. So again, just want to get these side panels in place right there like that. And then you can just slide this up to lock that back in. So once that's done, you can take this windshield and just get this back in its home. Get the hood back where it was. Get all that tab back in. And now you can take these sections here and they'll tab into the slot right there. So just line that up and tab that in. Again, just get that bent up, line it up, and tab that in like that. So now you want to open up these side sections here in the back and flip up the little tail fin. You can close that back up. Again, open that up, flip out the little tail fin, make sure that stays in, and close that back up. And now you can take all this and drop it back down and get this secured back up. Let's get all that tab back in. Get all that tab back in. Like that. So what's going to happen now is you're going to rotate this armature down, and this tab right here is going to go into this slot right here on the inside of the wheel. Just bring that down and just tab that in, then just straighten out that wing and get it in that orientation. And then you just bring in the little barrel here. You plug that into the front. And there you have Tracker in flying car mode. Get back here. Yeah. And it's another fiddly transformation, but that's Trax's flying car mode. It's a car with wings. And it is a more screen accurate flying car mode because you do have the arms on the sides, but the arms are blue as well as the rest of the body. So yeah, I mean, you know, it's a car with wings. Now, as far as the stand adapter, it actually will sit like underneath these panels here. And I find that once you get that in and kind of push that down, this actually holds a lot better than even the tabs do because, again, the tab slot connections don't actually work. So these panels do a good job of actually holding this in place. And then you can plug this onto your MP stand, and you have your flying car. So there you go. So there you have Tracker, and yeah, you know, a pretty good second outing here from Star Toys. The first figure they put out was their Blitzwing, which I very much enjoyed. As far as Tracker goes, he has his pluses and minuses. You know, he looks really good. Like, all of his modes look really good, in my opinion. The transformation, it has its fiddle factor, though. It definitely has its fiddle factor. It's not a nightmare transformation, but it can get a little annoying. Getting things lined up, little parts you have to move, you know, like it's not a nightmare transformation, but it's a bit of an annoying transformation. So if there's any real critique I can throw at this figure, is just I wish the transformation was just a little smoother, a little more fluid. It's just kind of a clunky transformation. But in terms of just the visuals, I think this figure is way better than the official Masterpiece version. So overall, it is a solid figure, but just some things that I do feel could use a bit of improvement. But it is what it is, so there you go. Now, I picked this up from TF Safari. I'll put a link to their site in the description down below, so you can check that out. You can also check out the third-party Transformers playlist for any reviews you may have missed. Also linked in the description down below, so you can check that out as well. And I think that's it, so don't forget to check out EmGo's, check out Love, Peace, Paranormal, follow me on Twitter, all of that good stuff down in the description below, and I think that's pretty much all there is to say. So, there is the Star Toys Tracker, and this is EmGo saying, remember, you don't stop playing because you grow old because you stop playing. Be geek, be proud, palm in your face. Oh yes, Trax! Thank you for joining me. I need you for a very important mission. Well, I hope this is quick. I would much rather stay in my stunning auto mode. Yes, it's very pretty, but you can't just stay in your alt mode forever. Well, why not? I can travel by land or by air. I can fly and everything. Valid point. Maybe I'll stay in my alt mode. Please. Your alt mode is hideous. Hey! It's for function, not fashion! That's just something ugly people say.